A user-defined function that you write can be called from a script. So this combination of a script, which is stored in an M file, and the function or functions that it calls, those are also stored in M files. That is what we're going to call a program. So a MATLAB program is a combination of a script and at least one function that it calls. Here's a schematic of a simple program. So a program is going to consist of a script. We'll generically call that script.m. And that script is going to call at least one function. In this case, we're going to have a function that calculates and returns a single value. So this is what we're going to call a program. It's this combination of a script and a function. So in the script, we would have our general algorithm. We would start by getting the input, whatever we happen to need. Then the second step is to calculate something, and for that we're going to call a function to calculate a result. And we're going to pass the input that we got in the first step. So when we call the function, we're going to pass to the function an input that goes to our input argument here. And then the function is going to use that input. It's going to calculate some value based on the input, and it's going to store that in the output argument, and that's the mechanism by which the function returns the value. So again, we call the function, we pass the input to it. It's going to use that input to calculate and return a value. So then in the script, once we have that value, we're going to print that, presumably in some nice formatted way. So this is again a program, the combination of a script. The script is what calls the function, and then the script is what prints the result that it gets from the function. So notice that in the function itself, we suppress the output. The function is only calculating and returning the value. It's not printing it. We let the script do the printing. So here's an example program. So again, the program is a combination of a script and a function that it calls. So in this case, as the comment says, the script is going to calculate the volume of a hollow sphere. So we're going to start by prompting the user for the two values that we need, the inner radius and the outer radius. And we store those in variables. Then we're going to call a function, which is an abbreviation of volume hollow sphere, and we're going to pass to it the inner and the outer radii, and that function is going to calculate the volume of the hollow sphere. So when we call the function, okay, notice the name here is the name of the M file and the name of the function in the function header, so all of those have to be consistent. When we call the function, we're passing the inner radius to the first input argument, and the outer radius to the second input argument. Notice that I use the same names. I can use the same names, or I could call them different things. It doesn't matter. Then the function is going to use these input arguments here in the expression. So the volume of a hollow sphere is actually 4/3 times pi times the outer radius cubed minus the inner radius cubed. So we take that expression and store it in our output argument. So whatever we name the output argument in the function header, we're going to assign the value to the output argument, and that's the mechanism by which the function returns the value back here. So the function becomes the value of this expression that was the original function call. Then once we get that value, we're assigning it here to a variable called volume, and then we're going to print that out in a nice formatted way with 2 decimal places. So again, this is a program, the combination of a script and the function. The script follows 3 basic steps. It starts by getting the input, then it calls a function to calculate something, and then once it has that value, it prints it in a nice formatted way. So the function just receives the input arguments, uses them to calculate and return the value, but it doesn't print or anything else.